What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Soundstage here, presented by NLFX. I am Kyle. I am here with the one and only DJ Nate Nelson. Nate, you want to go ahead and introduce yourself? So everybody, a little bit about yourself.
For sure. If you don't know me, my name's Nate Nelson. I am from Dallas, Texas. I've been DJing in the private event world full time for 15 years and been DJing since 2005. So I'm married, got two beautiful children. My wife and I will be celebrating 17 years this year, which is crazy.
Nice.
So enjoying life, loving every minute, and yeah, I'm enjoying this crazy ride that we get to DJ on. You know, it's fun.
Yeah, I know it's weird that we get to call it a job, but
right.
So I do have to ask you. So since you're from Dallas, how's football season going for you guys?
I'm sorry, I can't be on the podcast anymore. I'm just kidding. We won this week, and I'm mad about it.
Yeah, because you're ruining your draft position.
Right. Like what we're so bad we can't even lose when we're supposed to. So yeah. I mean, we've been decimated by injuries. I'm a diehard Cowboys fan. Till I die, no matter what the score is. I've been through it before. I think we're all just kind of waiting the long game till Jerry Jones is no longer with us, and then
okay. I was going to ask if you think that he might be just a little bit of the problem.
100% the problem.
Okay. All right. So the thing that I'm hearing is that you're not a delusional Cowboys fan. You're pretty realistic.
I'm a realist, bro. I'm a realist. It is what it is, and I think it's kind of ironic because I'm a fantasy football player as well, and this is the best season I've ever had in fantasy football. I'm in too many leagues, and currently I am front runner in 3 of them. So it's ironic that typically I'm so much into everything else, but this year I'm just enjoying NFL football, man. I think that the fantasy world, the betting world is kind of taking over some of my passion of the Cowboys being so bad this year. So that's kind of helped. Yeah.
No, well, that's good. You got something to supplement it in there.
Right.
I'm a Packer fan, so
Dez caught it, by the way.
I mean, that's
he did.
Obviously.
They came back and said he caught it, Well, Dez Bryant is my favorite Cowboy of all time.
He should be right up there. So what are your thoughts on Tony Romo?
I like Romo. Romo knew his people around him, just like every Cowboy quarterback. We just can't get over the top. I think that was the year for us to do it, and Dez got robbed. I'm originally from Oklahoma, so I was an Oklahoma State fan growing up. I went to school there for a very short time. I was the Van Wilder of college, went to a lot of schools for a long time, never graduated. But Dez Bryant went to Oklahoma State, and so he was someone that I've followed, and I was so excited when he got drafted from Oklahoma State to the Cowboys that I have a Dez Bryant tattoo on my leg. So yeah, he's my he's my go-to guy.
Yeah,
I collect sports cards, and I've got one of his best RPA autos up there on above my shoes. So
nice. Well, that's awesome. Sorry to divulge into a sports podcast there for a second. just had to talk a little bit about football. So being from Dallas and everything, I always like to jab Cowboy fans a little bit when I can.
For sure.
My friend Jesse from up here, he's a huge diehard Cowboy fan too, and so every chance I get, I send him another meme about something.
It happens. The Cowboy Packer love is it's like a love-hate relationship.
Oh yeah. Oh, for sure. We've had so many good rivalry. Like, I guess I shouldn't even say rivalry. We just have so many good games in big moments for the last 12 years.
Yeah.
Or so. Just every year it seems to be another, the Dez Bryant catch, or the Mason Crosby last second field goal that Aaron, what was that, 2014 or 15?
Yeah. I used to be very aware of the Cowboy Packer games. Mitch Taylor and I used to bet on them every year. Because we play every 4 years we switch divisions, so we play the Packers every 4 years. And there for a while, we were playing the Packers a lot, and Mitch Taylor is a big Packer fan, and he would always bet me, and I'd always have to pay a steak dinner in Vegas every year. And I got tired of that, so I learned really quickly to stop betting on the Cowboys against the Packers with Mitch. I've never won the bet. just to put it that way. And that means that the Packers have been doing well against the Cowboys.
Yeah, it has been. But it's always the other thing that's always nice about it. I kind of minus the playoff game last year. They've all been good games too, though. Like it's been a back and forth all the time. So
you guys broke us, honestly. If you want to say that, like we went from a 16 game home winning streak with a point margin of like 23 points at home to the Packers came to town on the playoffs, destroyed us by 40, and now we've lost 6 or 7 straight at home with a point differential of we've been beat by 30. And it's crazy.
It's not good.
You guys broke us. You broke us.
And sometimes it does happen that way, where just that one game just turns everything.
Everything. Yeah.
Well, I mean, for us, like I think back for the Packers, I think about the Chiefs game in 2011. We went into that game, I think we were 14-0 going into that game. We ended up losing because of, really random, weird happenstance. Then so we ended up 14-2. First place, we play the Giants. We get destroyed at home in a playoff game. And then we weren't good in 2012. It's not like 2013. Like, it just, that game just,
The old foosball.
It is. Sorry, we could talk football all day.
Boucher's mom and just said, no foosball. And that'd be a lot happier person probably in life.
Absolutely. So, diving back into your DJ career. So, you said you started in 2005, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, how'd that all start? Did you get roped in? Were you excited to join in? Did you seek it out?
Yeah, actually, music's always been a big piece of my life. My dad's a dentist, but when he was going through dental school and when he was a younger kid, he always played in rock bands. He was a drummer, and so we always had a drum set around the house. So I learned to play drums at the age of 5. And, I still play drums sometimes. When the kit's around, I'll jump on and just have fun with that. I don't currently have one at home, but so I played drums early on. I played in a band all through high school. In college, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I kind of mentioned earlier that I was kind of all over the place with college. I went to a few different schools. Yeah, serial student. And there was a radio production class. So I got into radio actually first. And it was like the only class I ever got an A in. I was really good at it. I excelled in it. I loved it. And so that led to me getting an actual job at the campus radio station. Then I got another job at another radio station. And I got a call if I could DJ a middle school dance because I was the on-air DJ playing, top 40 and pop music. And actually here in my office, we kind of talked a little bit about my office, but I have the flyer framed of the live DJ from KSSU Power 92, Nate Nelson. It was November 2nd, probably 2004 or 5. And it was $3 to get into this dance. And that was the first event that I ever DJ'd live. And I have the actual flyer mounted in my office.
The fact that you have it, that's pretty crazy. That's awesome, actually. So you can just kind of always look back and be like, hey.
Yeah, that's my beginnings right there. And my very first show, I had no idea. But I was in a band, right? So I had some Mackie 750, the original OG Mackies. Yeah. That's what I had. I had 2 of those. I had a Mackie, I'm pretty sure it was a 16 or 24 like board. It was a big board for like our band.
Well,
and then I had
so if you're doing a band or you're doing radio, you're gonna need a big one.
It was a big one. And then I had a home theater like thin CD player, like RCA into the board, right? Like it was this, and then I had a Discman. So no gear at all what I should have had. And I had a wired mic and a wireless mic.
But you had a wireless mic. You're big time.
Yeah, that was one thing for our band that we like back then. It was like, we got a wireless mic. We're good. We have this. So I had that. And man, in the era of burning music, you just think like, I was I think it was actually high school because it says KHS. So it was a high school dance. So I was only 5 to maybe 4 or 5 years older than these people. So music was just whatever was popular. I didn't think like now in my mindset where I'm playing this, I got to go look for this generation of music for whatever. Yeah. I just played what I would think I would want to listen to. And I had no idea. Right. But all DJs know the euphoric feeling you get from playing the right song at the right time is what hooked me. And I was in that moment. I never turned back. I still had other jobs. I still tried to find my way through this whole journey. But I was saving money to buy, new gear. And I ended up, I have still to this day, it was an Ion dual CD player mixer, 4-channel mixer. I'm pretty sure I got it at
Okay.
Sam's Club, maybe.
Yeah.
I still have
That
it.
seems like one of those. Yeah.
Yeah, I still have it. That was my
Like my
first
first
one.
DJ kit or whatever.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
something like that. It maybe came with studio monitors. I don't know.
Yeah, it could have been.
I still have it. And then my second setup was the Denon DNS 100 CDJs, the smaller ones with DNS like 200 mixer. I don't know what it was. It was a 2-channel mixer, and I bought that, and I thought I was in. And then obviously computers came. I got into Scratch Live, and kind of just played every bar and nightclub in college because I went to a smaller college. It was my fourth college to go to, but that's where I met my wife. And so I was in a fraternity there. She was in a sorority. And so I was DJing all the parties and just getting better and better at it because I knew that I knew beats, I knew sounds. I could make sure. And one thing that I think has always been good for me is that I knew if something sounded bad, even though I may not
Okay.
have had
Yeah.
the skills to
That's
do
hard
it.
to. Yeah,
You know
that's
what I
hard
mean?
to
I knew
learn.
that my fade was going to be good, or I was going to slam at the right point, or I didn't have the technical skills that I do today, but I still knew that if it sounded bad, like,
Yeah,
and
you
I've
had the
always been a
timing down.
believer of when I'm transitioning, my headphones are not on because I want to hear what the guests hear. Like, I want to hear the program side of it because if the
Yep.
program side sounds good, everybody else thought it was good, right? So I did all that. My wife and I got married in 08. We moved to Dallas, and that was when I moved to Texas, the year we got married. And I had no idea what I was going to do. I was DJing all over the place, and I'd done all my friends' weddings in college, and I met Glenn Roush. And then I joined LaForce, and I started learning, and the rest is kind of history, man. I started doing 80 events a year and trying to be the best. That was always my thing with anything. I wanted to be the best at whatever I did, and so I just had that mentality and mindset and went for it.
But I think that's really good. And I know that, especially now, college is a bit of a hot topic issue for some people. And, should you go to college? Should you not go to college?
But Kyle,
And
you
I
want to know what
think,
my bio says like when a client looks me up?
no,
It says while most students in college were prepping for finals, Nate was preparing his life skills.
there you
Like
go.
I honestly, like, when I tell people like I mastered in partying and this is what I do for a living, and it was invaluable time that I had to, like, yeah, I didn't graduate. Yeah, I wasted a shit ton of money, but I've made a lot of money doing what I'm doing, and
Say, but you
I'm
found
happy,
yourself.
and I know what I was meant to do on this world, So
Yeah.
yeah, that's what college should be. You should go figure out who you
Yeah.
are
100%.
as a person and what you want to do with your life, and that's what I did. So
Yeah. And I think that's one of the best things in life is that if you do decide to go to college or do anything, even if you decide to go in and you want to become a painter or you want to do whatever it is, it's taking that time to figure out what you actually want to do. And the other thing that I think is really encouraging for people is, you said you went to 4 different colleges to do that. If you decide that college isn't for you and you want to do something in music or arts or photography or anything like that, it's okay to take a job at, Target and do that while you figure out how you can build and do the thing that really sets you on fire.
my recommendation is to get into the service industry. If you're still trying to figure out what you want to do and you're looking at this world, DJ, entertainment, whatever it is, private events, go to the service industry. It'll teach you valuable life lessons that you need. It'll teach you patience. It'll teach you problem solving. It'll teach you, um, you know, just repetition of, like, doing things right, doing things the right way, and how to serve clients and serve people. And we're in the business of people. Like, as much as we want to say we're in the business of gear and tech and all this stuff, we're in the business of people. And that was invaluable to me because I was also bartending, waiting tables, and DJing, like, all through college, all through high. Like, when my wife and I first got married, I was still working at a restaurant, like, and then working where I could. And, it taught me life skills that have taken me further than I ever thought would take me.
Yeah, which is awesome, and I think the best thing that you can do, obviously on here we talk about DJing and the sound world and all that kind of stuff, but it is finding that thing that sets your heart and your passion on fire. Because it was something that I worked at banks up until 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, when I started working here. Hated every second of it, but it was a good paycheck. I could do it. I got good at it. But now that I work here again, I don't. You
I hit the wrong
okay?
button. Yeah, I hit
That's
the
all
wrong
right.
button. I was trying to mute myself because I thought I had to sneeze, but I hit the beep.
No, that's all right. He's trying to censor me. Um, but yeah, it's finding that thing that sets your heart on fire, and I felt like I found that with DJing, but then now I also found it with another job that I can do, which also fills right in with my passion for the DJ industry and doing all that. So
Right.
it's been absolutely fantastic. Um, and so you're doing that. So when did you actually go full time, and when did you start with LaForge and all that, and get all that stuff started?
My journey with LaForce started in 2000, late 2011, early 2012. So, it's I was looking for something. I'd kind of, obviously, without being the business savvy person that thought I might not be. I started doing business plans, and I actually met Glenn Roush through his wife. I knew her in high school, so I'd messaged her and saw on her Facebook that he was, starting his own company and leaving his full time job and all this stuff. So I said I'd love to meet with him and just pick his brain on what he's done and what he's been successful, because that's what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And so him and I met one day, and we met at a Brahms. If you know what a Brahms is, it's probably a southern thing, but it's an ice cream and dairy store. And so
Okay.
we both sat and had like a milkshake and talked, and I thought it was going to be like, I was on my way home from my job at the time. I just had my first daughter. And I thought that it was going to be a 30-40 minute meeting, whatever. We sat there for like 3.5 hours talking about our goals and future and stuff like that. And then I took an event for him like 3 or 4 weeks later. And then I got into kind of like the core. There was 5 guys there at the time. I went after, with anything that when you want something, you put yourself in it, right?
Yeah.
And I didn't have much else going on, so I put myself in there. It was like we had some Chauvet par lights that you still had to plug in and DMX. And so we were running out of tap and DMX, all these things. And so I was like learning all that stuff. And then we got into the wireless world a little later, but like I put myself out there to do anything and everything to learn what they were doing. And then in turn, they figured out that I was a good salesman, that I was, good at talking to people. I'm good with people. And so I started taking all of our leads, and then with anything, like when a client calls and wants you to, or talks to you, and you're trying to tell them about your company and what you're doing, they gravitated towards me. So I started booking a lot, just being in that position. Um, then I just kind of excelled with it. So I went full time. Yeah, it'll be 14 years ago. I guess this coming spring. And yeah, I've just kind of been just going with it. I was going to go back to school and get my music business degree and kind of see what I wanted to do in the music industry, because my dad's always been heavily in that. Yeah, and I didn't. I stayed doing what I'm doing, and I've earned more money year after year after year for the longest time. And I was like, I don't need to go back to school. I just want to do this. This is what I love,
Yeah.
you know?
You're also, because I do see you at a lot of conferences and all that kind of stuff. So you are spending the time putting into your learning. You're just doing it in a different way. You're not doing it in a classroom setting. You're doing it in a conference setting
Right.
and going through all that kind of stuff. So, which is awesome. So you've been doing it a really long time. So is there a specific thing that really brings you back to it every single week? Like, because like you said, you're doing 80 events a year, all this kind of stuff. A lot of people get burned out and they can really fast. Um, what is it that just keeps your fire going and keeps you coming back, week after week?
Man, I'm an adrenaline junkie. Probably is like the way to kind of explain it. I think that we have a big team now, and I'm the leader of the team, and so excuse me. Um, Seeing new guys have the passion that I had 10 years ago fires me up. Obviously, performing. There's nothing like it in the world.
No.
Um, that's my ultimate drug. That's my euphoria, is like performing and getting better at it. Because I think that some of the guys on my team push me harder than I ever thought I would. I've got a guy named Devin, um, who's been with us maybe 2 years, a year and a half. He went through our DJ school. And I got the PLX Cross 12s, and I've had an S11 for years, but I got the PLX Cross 12s, and we were two of my guys on my team. We really started pushing each other to scratch. That was one area of my DJ skills that I felt like I never really put emphasis on. I wanted to learn. And so we took a couple scratch classes, and it still just was not clicking and whatever it was. And I was a drummer, so I felt like, man, I feel like I should be able to get this. And it's like rubbing your head or tapping your head and rubbing your belly. Like, it's like once you get it down and it clicks, it's just like, oh, the whole world opens. So Peter and I really dove into scratching. We started showing some routines and stuff that we were doing to our team. And then this kid, Devin, who had no DJ skills at all when he joined us, has just jumped full force into it and is just like, now he's excelling and passing us. So that's like drives me, right? So it's like I see the guys that I'm teaching stuff to pass me and start being like, and he obviously is 24 years old, has no major responsibilities. He just had a kid. So now he's kind of slowed down. Like he literally had a kid like 8 weeks ago. But before that, he went all day. Like he would work weekends, and all day, every day he was scratching. So it just kind of like, I wish I had that time to put into something like that, but I don't. And so I watched him go from this to this to this to this, and that drives me more too, right? When you see people on your team that you're trying to elevate and bring up start to excel and start to do really well, like that is passionate for me. Like performing and DJing is not, it's my passion. It's what I love to do, but it's not my everyday. Like I've got our LaForce Pro division to worry about. I'm the quality assurance manager for that to make sure all of our production events are going well. I have a team of DJs. I'm the director of talent at LaForce. So we have 32 DJs that I'm constantly, I don't really hands on with all of them. We have pod leaders, and there's 5 of those guys that are directly under me that are kind of, doing all that stuff. But, there's a lot that I'm doing week in and week out daily, for the team and for LaForce to make sure that we're continuing to evolve and continuing to push in the right direction. So that's kind of what keeps me going. I never really have. This is one of my down weeks. This is what I love, is like Thanksgiving. And when you say getting burned out, like if I have time off and I have a week where I'm not doing anything business related because my family needs me. I need a time to refresh. I need a time to just step away and just come back fresh, and we believe in that. We do a retreat every year. We believe that getting away and kind of just retooling what your goals are for the next year, and thinking outside of it and just focus on something else besides that, and like come back with a fresh mind, fresh body, just be ready to rock and roll for the next busy season. Like we believe in those things at our company. So getting away and spending time with family, and really just when you're in there, be 100%, but when you're out, be 100% with everything else. Right. That's kind of what keeps me balanced.
Well, no, I think that's really good, and I think, I don't know, maybe I'm reading more into it, but it sounds like you're passionate about the industry as a whole, and you're passionate about obviously the gigs and performing and doing all that sort of thing. But I don't know, you seem more excited with the teaching and learning aspect of it, which is really good, and that's another way to keep everything fresh. Because if you're always learning and you're taking the time to learn, and even like you said, you're trying to take a cue from your younger talent that you have shown the way to do this. Now they're showing you, you know what, you can go even farther,
Right.
and
Yeah, I
like you
think
said, it's a good thing about pushing each other just to constantly keep getting better.
yeah, mentoring. And I think that I heard this a long time ago, and I kind of live by this, but I think you should have three very important people in your life. You should have your own personal board of directors. You should have someone that you look up to, someone that's kind of on the same level as you, and then someone that you're bringing up. So if you have those 3 different people in your life, like I have a mentor, right? I have someone that's kind of on the same caliber as me that we're both pushing together. And then I have a mentee, someone that I'm trying to bring up. And if you have those three pillars in your life, it can really kind of balance out all of it. You know what I mean? Because you're still learning, you're comparing, and then you're teaching. And so those 3 things for me kind of balance me out as well, like on the personal side, because the person that I'm bringing up, I've been there, I've been where he is. The person that's on the same level as me, we're going through the shit together, and then the person that I'm looking up to has already been there. So you can, if you have that mindset where you can look forward, you can look side to side, and you can look down. Like, you have somebody to lean on in every direction, which is kind of key. So
absolutely. That's I not even gonna try to say it better, dude. That's awesome.
Thanks.
So, so you said that you got a bunch of different divisions for your company there, and so you have all the DJs and you have the production side. Are both of those, like you said, you're kind of in charge of both of them? So when you're doing your production stuff, like how big of stuff do you do? Are you doing, small conference rooms? Are you doing, arena stuff? What do y'all?
Both.
Okay.
So the production world's kind of crazy, man. It is something that we're still learning. Like, I've always been told by a mentor of mine, book it and then cook it, or cook it and then book it. No, book it and then cook it. I said that backwards.
Yeah.
I'm a dreamer. I'm an idea guy. I am being the quality assurance manager, which means I'm not in charge of everything. I'm in charge of like the visionary stuff. Like when I say we're in the business of people, right? Like I have a lot of smart techie nerds, and they, they would call themselves nerds.
Yeah.
Like people that are smart with this stuff, but may not have the best polished people skills or the best, like, they look at what they set up and they're excited because it all works, and like the tech side is cool, but the presentation of it's not great. So I'm the presentation guy that's like coming in behind them, fixing the drape. This screen, why is this screen 3 feet closer to the stage than the other one? When you're flanking screens, like you have to look like symmetric.
Yeah.
Like, so I'm the guy that's like making sure it's all there and it looks good. And I'm the encourager. Like, I want our team to not just get stuck in the monotony of doing ballrooms and stuff that are boring. Like, I want to chase the big shows, the crazy things, the things that people would never think that we would do. And so I've been fortunate enough to kind of produce and sell some of that stuff. Like, I am still a show producer. I do that, but on the daily, like we have an in-house AV job with a 5-star hotel here in Dallas. It's a boutique hotel. It's smaller, not a big ballroom. So we're doing stuff there daily. When you have an in-house AV company, you're the guy that plugs in the HDMI for someone that's having a corporate meeting in a corporate boardroom, right? Like, so we're doing that stuff. We're doing stuff that's repetitive that we're doing every day, and then we're also doing a lot of big lighting installs, video walls. We've done 3 arena shows. We were doing live outdoor concerts with portable stages and things like that. So the production world's gotten crazy. It's a lot of fun. I think that it's taken a lot more of the energy of our entire company and business to perfect and to manage and to fix the problems that we didn't know. Like our DJ company, we had all these problems in the beginning as well, right? There's no manuscript. There's no here's your employee guidebook. Here's how this works. Like, there's not. You just have to learn from, again, people that have done it and been there before with you, and then look at other companies that are kind of alongside you. And grow together and do those things. And so we've had to learn the production side. It's been a challenging, it's been rewarding. There's been a lot of different emotions that go up and down with the production side of things. But I think that one thing that and no one will ever take this away from us, is that we already knew we were in the business of people. And so, like, taking that into a PSAV world, an Encore world, those are owned by hedge funds. It's just like, they're doing the job, right? We're in the business of people. So if we take care of our people and also give them a great product, we've been able to succeed and do really well in Dallas doing that. So,
oh, that's awesome. And again, I think your attitude on it's the right way. Like, you're selling yourself. You're not selling, because there's a lot of different companies who can put up a video wall, who can bring in speakers, mics, all that.
You should do that with everything. As a DJ, you should sell yourself. We all do the same thing.
Yeah.
Like, you want your client to book you because they like you. Because I do the same thing as Scooter, Digital Dave, anybody, Dan Quinn in my market. We do the same thing. Like, it's a personality based. That's how I start every meeting. This is a personality based decision. We're all doing the same thing. We're all playing other people's music. If you've seen me play before, you know that I'm high energy, have fun, creative, but like, I'm also going to take care of you and make sure that this day is exactly how you want it to go. Because again, weddings are evolving and changing. There's no There's no way. Your grandma may say you need to do these things for tradition, but it's your wedding. You can do it however you want. This is the biggest day of
Yeah.
your life. Let's do it how you want to do. And so,
Yeah. I
but
try to
you
get that
should sell
across as much as I
yourself,
can
not the
too.
gear, not the stuff. Like the gear is just a perk,
It's it's a byproduct. It's a byproduct of doing it.
Yeah.
It's yes, I have to bring speakers. Yes, I have to bring a microphone. Yes, I have to bring all those. So no, I totally get it. So then on the gear side, so since we generally talk to DJs and stuff in here, I love the production side just because it's a thing for me that I have always thought about doing, but I'm a little bit too much of a perfectionist about other things that I just don't think my personality would allow it. But I have thought about it many times. So anyway, on the DJ side, so are you guys? You said you had 32 DJs. Are you guys pretty standard across the board as far as equipment, or do you guys have individual? Hey, you can decide, your own decks, your own speakers.
On controllers, we're pretty standard. Our team either has a DDJ Flex 10 or a Rev 7. That's kind of, we gave them the option. We train on a Flex 4 in DJ school, and so transitioning from a Flex 4 to a Flex 10 is pretty easy for the newer people. A lot of our seasoned DJs, we upgraded everybody to Rev 7s 3 or 4 years ago whenever they came out. We put a lot of emphasis on new technology. We put a lot of emphasis on stems and the way we play and perform. I always wanted us to be the best top to bottom. I believe that we're only as strong as our weakest link. So we put we have 4 trainers that are constantly training, and we have a space at our office that's a mixing station. If people have concerns, questions, whatever, they can come in and play all the time. We have a Flex 10 and a Rev 7 in there, so they can practice on what their gear is. They only have to bring a computer. We're pretty standard. Our top 12, 14 guys all have bun booths with Rev 7, so it kind of looks the same. Dom, Justin, myself, Peter, we all have actual turntables. I think Dom and I have turntables, and Justin and Peter are on reins. So it's kind of a look thing. But Matt also has Cross 12s and a S7, and then Dom, Peter, and I all have S11s. So.
Gotcha. So you got those for the thing. What do you guys do? What do you guys run on audio? Are you standard across the board on audio too, or are you?
We were QSC for a long time, top to bottom, and then we had a couple of guys with the old Bose systems, and then all of the top guys that all have turntables now have Evox 12s. Justin has Evox 12s. Dom has Evox 12s. Peter actually has my old KLA QSC line array system, and then I have RCF NLX 24As and 8004 subs. So we've kind of evolved. We have Evolve. We have a few guys that are on Evolve 50s. Just on that side, we kind of gave them the choice of what are they transporting their gear in? So a guy that doesn't have a trailer or a van is not going to be able to fit 18-inch subs in his car, right? So the Evolve 50s are a great look, a great sound for those guys to roll with. The guys that do have trailers on our team, I think we have 8 guys with trailers. They'll usually have subs. I know Mike Villa has a QSC system with subs. Justin has subs. Dom has subs. Peter has subs. I have subs. Matt has subs. So it just depends on their transportation as well. So that's something that, like, when they come to the team, they are responsible for computer, music, and the vehicle. We're in charge. We supply all the rest of the gear for the team. And so it's kind of all over the place now. We were pretty standard. I think that we are pretty standard on our newbies. So we typically probably come with 3 to 5 new guys a year. And they're getting a standardized system. We have it down to how many cables they're getting, what cable bag they're getting, what their speakers are, what their stands are, all of it kind of just dialed in. So
do you have your come up thing? So do your new DJs, do they start out as roadies? Do they start out as assistants, help with production?
Luckily we have enough work and not just DJ work that it is a training ground as well. And so I've always been in the mindset of, I don't want to just hire someone to be a DJ because I don't know their patterns of being a responsible worker. I don't know if they're reliable. I don't know how hard they're going to work, and I don't know how hard they're going to retain information. And they can show me in 6 to 8 months how bad they want it, right? And so if if they can jump in and be a DJ assistant, a roadie, a light tech, a photo booth, tech, any of those things, and not complain about it, be on time, be reliable, and show passion and energy for the team, they might be a good candidate to go through DJ school, right? So, obviously, I think that we learned a long time ago that everybody we were hiring, we put in our job description that with the potential to be a DJ, and everybody wanted to be a DJ. And so it was hard because some people would really, that's all they wanted, and they didn't want to put in the work to get there. And then some people have seen, like, they don't realize that the years that Glenn and Ed and myself have put into building this brand, building this company, building the lead funnel that's coming in, that they don't have to work for it like I did 15 years ago, like Glenn did. Like we've had to the last 10, 15 years of just like, we're going out weekly, going to networking events. We're going out doing all this stuff. And now the lead funnel's there. They're just getting, here's a spoon, here's your events, take them, rock them out. They don't understand that side. So that's hard. I want people to be hungry. I want people to chase it. I want them to kind of understand that stuff. But the beauty and I guess the backside of it is that they're learning all the mistakes we have already learned, and they're being able to go out into the field and perform at a much higher level, being trained and understand the things, because we take notes of the things that we've done bad. We take notes of our errors and failures and trainings, and how to, what we've seen new people going out on their first event, their second event, their fifth event, their 10th event, like things that issues that arise. We're taking note of that stuff and trying to teach that stuff and really push it home so that they're not going out into the field completely green. Yes, everybody has to have their first event, right? The nerves are going to be there. You're going to be stressed, but you're not going to be really great at what you do until you get 10, 15, 20 events under your belt, because you may not have your system exactly set up the way you want to, or like you're still tweaking things along the way. So, yeah.
Well, I mean, me 10 years later, I'm still tweaking things, but you know what? I think I can do this a little bit better. Hey, I think I can do this. And I think like the being, like you said, the being green and being nervous, I still to this day, as we're building up, we're doing the reception thing, we're just kind of playing background music. I'm starting to get those nerves, like, I want it to go well. I want to make sure
I got butterflies until I'm done with my grand entrance. Until first dance and dinner starts, I'm nervous, and that's a good thing.
Oh, yeah, and that's what I was gonna say. I think that's a great thing, because then it shows that they actually care. I'm the same way. Until all the formalities are done, I'm nervous. Once the dancing starts, then for me, that's like, okay, now I get to play. Now I got to have fun. Now I just get to dance these people. I need, meet the challenge of being what they want when they want it, playing the song they didn't know they wanted to hear, like do the puzzle part. But yeah, until all those formalities are done, it's just like, nope, we got.
Well, I think the initial beginning of a wedding sets the tone. Honestly, I I truly believe that whatever I do before dancing starts can make or break dancing. And I know that sounds weird, but it's almost a, I've came back from intros after dances, toasts, whatever, and just told my assistant, like, man, this crowd is different. I don't have a hold of them like I typically do with normal crowds. I was in theater too. Also, I didn't mention that I was in theater all through high school. Started children's theater when I was 7. Like, I'm good on a microphone. I'm good at, I know when to pause and when to put emphasis on words and really kind of capture the audience, right? And so capturing the audience in the beginning, by the time you're coming out before and you're doing toasts or things at the end of dinner, like every time I talk, I have those people like they're just dialed in, right? And there's been times where I'm like, man, I can't do this. So like I'm nervous up to that point, because that initial part of the night is so important to me. It like sets everything up, and you're doing it right when dinner is happening and guests are coming up to you. Man, you're one of the best DJs I've ever heard. And I'm like, I haven't even DJ'd yet. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm a good MC in your eyes. Like but I haven't DJ'd yet. And so that, to me, I get it all the time. And my assistants are like, why are they telling you didn't even DJ'd? And I'm like, so
because
putting an emphasis on all those things is key, because it can really make or break your dance party. Like if you engage with your guests, you tell your guests what time the party's over, they don't know. They get an invitation that says it starts at 6, right? Mm-hmm. They don't know what time that party's over. I tell every one of my parties what time the party's over. And in turn doing that, I get a massive increase of people stay to the end. So
yeah, you got a limited time to party with your guests and all that kind of stuff.
For sure.
No, that's really awesome. So, um, going back looking through all your different stuff, do you have a favorite piece of equipment that you have, or you have had, or you really want to have that you don't have yet?
My Cross 12s and S11 by far. I've got those I was one of the first people to get them. I pre-ordered them the day they came out. I got them. One of mine was actually shipped to 12-inch skins. Like, because I was one of the first ones, I got my first Cross 12 in the mail. My second Cross 12 went to 12-inch skins. They did all the mapping, wrapped the first one, and sent me a wrap for the second one because they hadn't got their hands on it. They'd seen the schematics, but he wanted one. And so my Pioneer dealer said, "Can we send one of yours?" And I said, "Yeah, they're one of the first ones." So I got mine first. I had the first wrap. I was the one that did like, it's crazy. But I know I told you earlier, like, I wasn't a scratch guy, but now, like, I had Reigns before that, but the PLX Cross 12s and the S11, like, they're sit right here. Like, it is I play on them daily. It's probably my favorite piece of gear. I absolutely love them. There's no, like, I don't know that I'll ever switch consoles or controllers. I do have a Rev 7 also, like, and in smaller events and things that I know load ins are ass because turntables are heavy. Anytime
Yeah,
like that, like, okay. And they're more of a beating to set up. And so I do have a Rev 7. I just did a charity celebrity event Thursday, and I had two different setups. And I was like, all right, I'm going to put my turntables upstairs for the after party. I'm going to put my Rev 7 downstairs. And then, like, we got there to do a site visit to do the walkthrough. And I was like, all right, my assistant Kai's coming. He's also a DJ. I said, Kai, bring your bum booth and bring your Rev 7. We're going to put that upstairs, and I'll put my bum booth and my Rev 7 downstairs. So I was like, yeah, I'm not going to care. That was a load in I didn't want to do. But my favorite piece of gear is absolutely my Cross 12s and my S11. When it comes to, like, sound, the sound system I have right now is probably my favorite sound system I've ever
the
had. The
24s and
NLX
8004s.
24As and
Yeah,
8004s.
yeah, yeah. I have the
Yeah.
8004s also. I have the NX 945s on
Yeah.
top, but
The
yeah,
8004s are like best subs I've ever had, bro. They're
they
so
go,
good.
they
They're
go.
so good. I
I
mean, they're not when I say, like, we have a line array and we do big production stuff. So they're like, I have we have our dual 21 EAWs that are obviously I'm not taking those to a wedding or anything, but those subs are pretty sick.
yeah,
But, like, for what I can take to a wedding, the 8004s are great.
yeah, and I got them for doing like school events and all that kind of stuff because they'll
Yeah,
fill a room,
for
they'll fill a
sure.
big room. So no, that's pretty awesome. So the other thing I wanted to kind of talk to you about, you kind of had that passion and everything for learning and doing all that kind of stuff. And so um, I saw you were on a couple weeks ago with the guys from Midwest DJs Live,
Yeah.
and you're on the board for that now, aren't you?
I am. Yeah. I am the director of nightlife and entertainment.
Okay, so what drew you to join that particular? Uh,
Um, so I've been to every conference you can think of. I think there's the only one I haven't been to is the one in Tennessee, whatever that one's called.
yeah.
I can't even think of what it's called. It was always like in June, like June's our busy season. Like,
Hmm.
um, so I've been to all the Vegas ones. I went to the ADJ show when it was the Las Vegas DJ show. I've been to Mobile Beat. I've been to Mex. I've been to the DJ Collective. I've been to all of them. Midwest. I've been to Harvest of Sound. I've been to Marquee, and um, I've spoke. I was a keynote speaker at Midwest DJs. I closed the show I think 3 years ago. I've spoken a lot of the shows too, but I always was drawn back to Midwest DJs Live because I've said it a few times today. I think that what Midwest DJs Live does is they're in the business of people. They're good. I've been there as a performer. I've been there as a speaker, and they've always taken great care of me. Their board is second to none when it comes to, like, the decisions that they're making in the hospitality, but also Midwest has done a great job of, like, bringing in good talent, good speakers, and it's been the best education show that I've been to. And so I got asked after last year's show if I would be interested in joining the board, and I thought about it for a while because I
It's
already
a
do
big
wear a lot of
decision.
hats. I've served on the board of WIPA here in Dallas for the last 5 years. I was on the Leadership Development Council for WIPA this year for national. Obviously, I have what I'm doing with LaForce Pro and with LaForce DJ, and then having two kids that are both into sports right now. Like, so it's every day, whether or not I had the time and the capacity to do this. But it's something I'm passionate about. Being someone that's seen a lot of different entertainment aspects at DJ conferences, I knew that Midwest wasn't lacking. They had great entertainment and great nightlife stuff, but it kind of gotten monotonous of doing the same thing, but bringing in good talent. So I'm flipping the script this year, and it's going to be completely different, like as far as where the parties are hosted and what kind of parties we're having. And so we have some big announcements coming out with that. We just announced that the Drew and Fuse show is going to be there doing a podcast as well. And so we're excited about having those guys. We have announced that on our opening party at Midwest on Sunday night, we're going to be in the main room, which we've never been for a party. So we're going to get to utilize the big production, the video wall, all that stuff for our entertainment that night. And we've announced that Chad Blackburn's coming to do karaoke for the first 2 hours. And then we have 2 headliner DJs after that that are to be announced. I have them both contracted, but I'm not announcing them yet. So I think a lot of people will be excited about that. And then on Monday night, we're going to be off site. We're not going to be on property at all for a very awesome party that I think people are going to talk about for a long time, which I'm not going to announce yet either. So
not at liberty to say.
Yeah, I mean, I want to kind of tease it a little bit. It's going to be fun. It's something that I think is needs to be celebrated in our industry, and I'll just leave it at that. So
awesome. Well, I think that's awesome, and I like that you. Something that's always been kind of drawn to me to you as a person is, as seeing you do talks at these shows and all that sort of thing, is kind of just the thing you've been saying throughout the whole thing. You're a people person, and even though I was the new guy at the show, you came up and I came up and introduced myself. We talked, and you gave me your time, and I appreciated that. And I think you're right in that Midwest is one of those great shows for education. Not that any of the other ones are bad per se. I don't know. It just seems maybe it's just because of the fact that it's a smaller show. It just seems way more intimate and way more focused on the people there.
It's like Cheers, man. Midwest is like Cheers. Everybody knows your name.
Yeah.
And for me being an outsider, like I'm from Texas, coming to Midwest, like most of the people there are in that region. And it was kind of weird. Like I came there first time to speak. I've spoke there twice. So I spoke when it was back at Potawatomi, and then I spoke where it's at High Regency now. But like coming in as a speaker and then coming in as an attendee, I just always felt like I was at home, and like people treated everybody the same. And, I loved it. I loved people, just everybody. Like you just feel important no matter who you are there. Like everybody, I don't think there's any egos there. I think it's just everybody's there for the same mindset, to have fun and to learn. Like if you're not learning right now, you're dying. If you're not learning and not adapting to the new times. And what's crazy to me is I work for Beat Source and DJ City, and I see some of these DJs that are well-known high DJs that are like, I don't use stems. I'm like, why? Like, this is one of the greatest technologies and pieces to be more creative while DJing, and you're not using it. I haven't updated my computer, but like I haven't bought it. Like, what are you like? You have to adapt. You have to be with the times. Like, otherwise these 18, 16, 15-year-old kids that are learning and playing on stuff and figuring these things out, they're way more advanced on technology than we were. Like, right? Like I'm 40, I'm about to be 42. Like my kids know more about technology than I do because they grew up with an iPad or something in their hand. Right.
Yeah.
So if you're not adapting and relating to the new technology, then it's going to be a hard and long road for you for the next few years,
Oh, 100%. And I think that's a really great thing. And also, like you said, the technology is really changing things. There was the Pinnacle non-conference that happened a couple weeks ago.
I'm so bummed I missed it. I had an event the 2 days.
It was really good. And somebody that real well, Matt Radicelli, was talking, and he said even already, if you are not doing stuff with AI, you're way behind.
Yeah,
because even optimizing your website for AI optimization and not just SE.
Yeah.
You have to be doing that already because everybody else is, and if you're not,
I almost rewrote all my stuff. All my copy on my website's been rewritten by AI, and with we have HR at LaForce now, which is kind of crazy as well. Think that a DJ company has HR, but like I'm having to write my job descriptions and what it is that I want to do for my quality assurance manager position, my director of talent position. And I go into Chat GPT and I'm like, hey, help me write a job description for this or objectives or whatever it is. And AI is helping me with that. But not only that, like, there's so much AI that you can use and it's out there, and people gotta get on board with it and stop being scared that it's going to take our job. Like what I've said more on this podcast today, excuse me, is that we are in the people business. And AI is never going to take that away from us. AI is going to help you, but it's never going to take you away from the human contact, the human interaction, the human like reading of crowds. AI in the future may know when you walk into an establishment, may be able to read all of our devices, right? And know that this person listened to this the last 3 weeks, and be able to shuffle out a list of songs that everybody in the room loves, and it's all on all their lists, and you be able to have that. But AI is not going to know when to play it and not know what the reactions are. Like those are things that we have power over AI on is the human connection, and the AI will never be able to take that from us. So adapt with it.
It won't be able. It won't, like you said, it won't be able to create feeling. Like it might be able to give you an idea, and using that idea, you can help create that feeling.
Yeah,
but it's not going to know that. Oh, if I do this, because Anyway, like you said, it's all crazy, and what it can do and how it can help us is just unbelievable. And like you said, if you're not learning, you're dying.
Right.
So I think that's a really good way to put it. The last thing I just kind of wanted to talk to you about, and I usually talk to everybody about, is so how did you initially get hooked up with NLFX? Like what brought you to NLFX initially? I'm assuming it's Ben. That's pretty much a really
I was gonna say,
answer.
isn't it Ben with everybody? Like, he's a celebrity, bro. Like, he is. And when you talk about techie nerds, Ben Stow's the king, right?
Yeah.
Like watching him like explain stuff that just blows my, like he's like the emoji that has the exploding head. Like when I listen to Ben Stowe talk, like he blows my mind almost every time, because he thinks he's so smart. And you guys have been, Katie's been great. Like it's been it's a people thing again. Like you want to work with people you like, and like and people you understand, and like have the same ideas and same thought process going into stuff. So I think like Ben was absolutely my go-to at first, and it's just been kind of one of those things. It's like, yeah, why not? Like, you guys are putting technology into the space that people have asked for. You listen to your consumers, you listen to the people, right? When we ask for something, it's not long after we're getting it, right?
So. Yeah. That was one of the first things that Ben always said. Like when I first started working here, it was whatever they ask for, say, yes, we can do
and
that.
Then figure it out.
Costs money. It only costs money.
Right. Yeah.
We can do whatever you want. It only costs money.
Yep.
So, if you're willing to pay it, we're willing to figure it out.
Right.
So, and like you said, we are very much in the people business, and we try to embody that as much as we can at NLFX, and that's why, and again, people might be tired of me saying it or whatever, but that's why we come out to the shows, because we want to be there with you guys on the floor. Because if you guys and myself as a customer, I've been buying stuff for years. If we're growing, then NLFX is growing. Yeah. Because if we can continue to keep those relationships and continue to meet the standard that we have already set for ourselves and what you guys expect out of us, I think we can do that and do it really successfully and just keep going and growing. So
for sure.
Yeah, it always comes back, kind of that support the people who support you. We're big supporters at Midwest DJs Live, because we think it's very important. And really the best way that you guys can thank us for doing that is, again, we might not always be able to get you the best price on everything, and we totally understand people might have to buy equipment at different places at different times for whatever reason. We just always ask that you give us a shot. Let us try, to earn that business, and also, see if we can give you the best price and what we think is by far the best service. So
for sure. And I agree there. It probably is. You guys are the Midwest DJs of dealer reps.
Flatter us with the comparison, and so I appreciate that. So that's amazing. Nate, I really appreciate you being on here. Do you want to shout out any of your socials for you or LaForce, anything like that?
Yeah, so you can follow me everywhere at DJ Nate Nelson, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. My website's djnatenelson.com. LaForce is LaForce DJ for all the DJ related stuff, and LaForce Pro for all of our production aspects of things. And if you guys are on the fence about Midwest DJs Live, you're not going to want to miss it this year. You can get your tickets at midwestdjslive.com.
Awesome. Really appreciate that. Again, Nate, thank you so much for being on here. I hope we can have you on again at some point. So
Yeah, thanks
thank
for
you so
having me,
much.
man.
And hey, best of luck out there. Enjoy your week off here.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving.
This will probably be coming out the week actually that
I hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving. I hope you had
Yeah.
a great Thanksgiving. We're going to speak in the future.
absolutely, yeah. This will all be coming out the week of Harvest of Sound actually. So
Okay, great.
it'll be fantastic. Again, thank you so much for everybody for listening, and we'll see y'all next time.
Thanks, Kyle.